Let's build the best creeper farm for Minecraft Bedrock 1.19. The first thing you're going to do is find an area to build it. I recommend building it over an ocean. However, doing it here works if you have all of the caves lit up. And once you have a location picked out, we're going to build a 4x4 square and leave the center empty. So that is 4 blocks and then 4 blocks. And then just like that. So leave these 2 blocks open and the center open to create this U shape. Then grab a double chest and place it down right here. And then run 4 hoppers into that chest. On top of there, we're going to place down some more blocks just to keep everything nice and organized. And then we're going to fill in the area over top of the hoppers. We're then going to place down a rail right here and a rail right here. And then we're going to go ahead and place down 2 glass blocks on top of the double chest. And then we're going to place down minecart hoppers on both of those rails. Go ahead and break this block right here. And then break the 2 blocks with the minecarts on top. And then replace this block and do the same thing. So 2 rails, 2 minecart hoppers, break the blocks. And then you are good to go. Now this is going to be the collection system for our little trident killer down here. So make sure to just cover this place up with some blocks. And all of the items are going to get picked up through the floor. So if I go ahead and throw down my building block here, it's going to end up inside the double chest along with the rails. From here, you want to build a nice little platform because this is going to be where you AFK. So build out by 2 and just create a little 4x2 right here. And now I recommend building some sort of staircase or maybe a ladder up so that you can get between these 2 layers. If you're building on the ocean, maybe having 2 layers, like 2 platforms and some scaffolding, that would work really nice. But this staircase works for right here. And then up top, we want to go ahead and grab some pistons, go onto our original 4x4, and we're going to place down 4 pistons in alternating directions, just like this. Go ahead and grab your observers now, and we're going to make the observers look at the piston and then have an observer looking at that observer. Now, if you look at the arrows, you will be able to tell which way they are looking. So here, the arrow is pointing this way, and the redstone dot is out in the open. And this one, the arrow is pointing towards the piston, meaning that it's running into the piston and watching the observer. Now we're going to do this for each and every one of these pistons, so make it look at the piston, and then make an observer look at that observer. And just do this for all 4 of the pistons. What this is going to do is create a nice little clock for us to run, so if we go over to this piston, turn it on, and then go ahead and turn it off, it is now going to create this piston clock, and it's just going to constantly push around a trident, which is going to kill all of our creepers. And to turn it off, just flick the lever, and there we go. It is off now. From here now, we are going to go ahead and throw a trident at that piston face right there. And then we're going to grab some blocks and we are going to build up by 2, leaving this space right here open to place down 2 fence posts, just like that. This is going to be where you AFK, that way you can collect some of the XP, and it's just going to come through the fence post at the bottom there, and then you can collect it all. So then we are going to just go around and build up by 2 all the way around the base of the trident killer. Make sure not to pick up the trident, and if you do, just throw in another one. It really doesn't matter. And from here, we're going to build up 19 blocks. So 1, 2, so on and so forth, and we're going to make a giant chamber. The next thing we're going to do is build out by 8 blocks in every direction. However, we want to make it so that these 2 blocks are 1 block lower. So just go ahead and add a strip right here and a strip right here. So that way we have 2 different layers. So from here, we are going to build out by 8 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Do the same thing over here, build out by 8. And we're going to do the same thing on this side as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then just go ahead and fill in that wall. So right here, what we're going to do is we're going to extend these platforms out to the edge and then again, build out by 8. So just bring these right over here and do the same thing on this side. And then we're going to bring this one out by 8 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then just go ahead and create a giant square to connect this up. Just like so. We're going to go ahead and fill in this area with blocks, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. So extend this out and then create the giant platform. After filling in the platforms, we need to add a wall around this area. So what we want to do is come to the center here, fill in these 2 blocks, and fill in these 2 blocks as well. And then we're going to create a giant square all the way around the platform. And we're going to make it so that this wall is 5 blocks tall. So we're just going to go all the way around just like this. And then we're going to also build up by 1, 2, 3, 4 because we just built the first layer. So we need to build a wall that is this tall. That kind of rhymed. After finishing the walls, it is time to put our water streams in. So go to the edge of the wall that isn't in this center bit. And then we're just going to run water buckets all the way across this back side. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Now this water shouldn't flow into the center bit. And if it did, then you counted wrong and you need to rebuild it. But it should flow right to the edge just like this. And then we're going to drop down 2 more water buckets on both sides here. And again, it should lead to the edge. And then everything is going to fall into this chamber. After you have these water streams down, we're going to grab some blocks. We're going to go up 3. So 1, 2, 3. Over 1, place down a temporary block and then another block. Break the temporary block. And then we're going to build a giant square going all the way around the farm, leaving that 1 block gap all the way around the wall. So this is going to be the spawn platforms for the creepers. And what we want to do now is come to the center here and see these 2 blocks. We're just going to go ahead and break those. We're going to do the same thing over here and break those. And then we're going to line up with the center here, follow it over to the wall, and then break those 2 blocks as well. So now we should have some corners. Oh, we got to do this side too. And break those blocks. There we go. Then we are going to fill in these squares. So just connect them up like this. So you should have like these little L shapes. Go ahead and make yourself some smaller squares. And then we're gonna add a grid pattern inside of these squares. So just go ahead, fill these in. And then again, the grid pattern is just building across, leaving a 1 block gap. Doing this both ways to create a little grid. And we're going to do that for every single one of these squares. After all of your grids are built, we're going to grab some buttons now, and we're going to place down buttons on every single one of these blocks, just like so, leaving these center blocks next to the holes open. So we're going to place down buttons all over these grids, and we're going to do it for every single one of them. We're then going to grab our trapdoors and go all the way around the perimeter of the square, just like so on all 4 sides of the square. Don't worry about opening the trapdoors yet. We can do that at the end. It's a lot easier to just place them and then open them separately. And then we're going to go ahead and place down trapdoors in all of these little holes. Now, I like to make sure that they're lined up just for, you know, the little peace of mind that everything looks good up here. Just go ahead and open all of these trapdoors now and go around and open up all of these trapdoors as well. After you've done that, and we do this to every single one of the grids, we are getting very close to being done. And honestly, at this point, we have a mob farm. So just if you want a mob farm, I guess you could just build this for all 4 of these platforms and then you're good. All right, this is what the farm should look like after you've built your grids. I must note here that currently the farm is only making 2 stacks of gunpowder per hour. And the reason for that is because we only have 1 layer. So if you want to have 8-10 stacks of gunpowder per hour, then I recommend adding more layers. Every layer you add will add about 2 stacks of gunpowder per hour. However, I wouldn't recommend building anything over 5 layers. So currently this is 1, and you can pretty much just rebuild this 2 blocks taller every single layer. Hopefully that made sense. I'm going to show you how to make it only creepers because currently this is spawning all mobs. So what we need to do is add another layer of blocks all the way around the farm. And then we're going to go ahead and fill in the area with normal blocks just to finish it off and add a roof. And then we're going to have to do some creeper spawn stuff. I don't know what you would call it. It's pretty much all mob proofing except for creepers. And yeah, we're just going to fill in this entire space. And if you're doing layers, then you're only going to build the waffles again, but on the same layer as the roof. So hopefully that makes sense. And when it's all said and done, this is what it should look like. So we have trapdoors on all of the empty spaces above the grid. So this is going to generate about 2 stacks of gunpowder per hour. So we're going to head up to the roof now, fill in this hole, and then we're just going to grab some torches and place down a bunch of torches on the roof. Now you can make it look pretty if you want. I say torch spam never hurt anybody. Just go ahead and light this place up. And we're going to do the same thing underneath of here. You can see we have a creeper right here, and that's because it is actually dark underneath the farm. You just can't tell because I have night vision. So after that, we're going to go ahead and kill off this creeper here. And then we're going to go ahead and turn on the trident killer. So just go ahead and turn this on. It's going to start pushing that trident around. And now what you want to do is go ahead and get yourself a looting 3 sword. Now all that's left to do is sit here and wait for the gunpowder to trickle in. You're holding your looting 3 sword. As you can see, we just had a creeper and it died. So if we actually go down here and take a look, we have 0 gunpowder. Great. Okay, that is the one creeper that gave us 0 gunpowder, because there is always that possibility that they won't drop anything. But yeah, so hold the looting 3 sword, wait for the creepers to drop, and then you will get all of your gunpowder. Again, the more layers you have, the more gunpowder you're going to get. So this farm will only generate 2 stacks. If you add 2 layers, you get 4 stacks, so on and so forth. Those are just approximate numbers. You could get more, you could get less. Really is just a bunch of random numbers. But yeah, so make sure you hold this looting 3 sword. That way you increase the rates of the farm. And don't expect to get a ton of XP from this farm. However, I think the addition of the fence post just makes it so that the XP doesn't, you know, it's still useful. Oh my god, I'm having so many brain farts today. I am feeling very under the weather. I don't know if you can tell. I've been rambling a lot, and I have a very hoarse voice. But yeah, so I'm sorry for that. I just wanted to get that out of the way. So yeah, that is pretty much it for the farm though. As you saw, we had another creeper fall. Got 1 gunpowder. We're getting really unlucky because, you know, some creepers could drop 3 or maybe even 4. I'm not sure. But yeah. Alright, that is gonna do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this one. If you did, please be sure to subscribe and leave a like. It really would mean the world to me. Again, I'm feeling very under the weather, so I'm sorry if this tutorial was not up to par with my others. I know my voice is a little hoarse and I'm a little groggy, but I thought I would put this video out here. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. My name is 1UpMC, and I will catch you guys in the next one.